After months of waiting for your draw results, you finally get that email or you go and check your draw status and you see the dreaded unsuccessful. But you still want to go hunting out west this year. You might be thinking over the counter or just, maybe your season's over after all and you'll have to try again next year. But what if there was another way? Today we're going to talk about leftover tags. We're going to discuss first come, first serve, secondary draw tags, and options that you have that you may not have heard of before. Because if you're willing to put in a little bit more effort and get creative in order to put a tag in your pocket, this podcast is for you. If this is your first time here, I'm Andrew Lukosevic, and welcome to the EndurHunt podcast. Join me as I share my experiences as an emergent hunter, offer advice on how to overcome challenges, and pursue your passion for hunting. I started hunting back in 2018 after I got out of the Marine Corps. My very first hunt was a general big game combo in Montana, chasing elk and mule deer. I never did fill a tag, never even saw an elk. But after spending a week out in the mountains in southwest Montana, I was completely hooked on hunting, and I have been obsessed with going out west ever since. I've now hunted 7 different states, chased all sorts of different species, elk, mule deer, pronghorn, and I started this podcast to share my experiences to help people get into the woods, get out west, put a tag in their pocket, get some of the best meat that exists on the planet. And that is exactly what I want to do with this episode. Most hunters stop with over-the-counter and the primary draw. Your default option is going to be to hunt your home state. Maybe you live out west and you have different game options. Maybe you're like me and you live in Tennessee and the chances of you drawing an elk tag in your home state are basically zero. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. There's no problems with hunting in your state, just going after it. You can put in more time. There's opportunities where you make them. But if you want to go out west, there are options for you. Every year, hundreds of hunters return tags for whatever reason. Maybe they applied in multiple different states, not expecting to draw multiple tags. They did. Family emergency or something came up. They're no longer to go. Or they simply don't have the budget and they couldn't afford it after they thought they could. For whatever reason, those tags go back into the system. I know for myself personally, I applied in both Wyoming and Colorado this year. I really wanted that elk tag in Wyoming, but I also put in for a mule deer tag in Colorado because I really wanted to chase deer in Colorado. If I drew both, I was going to return that Colorado tag and it would have been put right into the system. Now, ultimately, I didn't draw that tag, so it isn't in the pool, but there are many, many reasons why hunters return tags. And Fish and Game, Department of Wildlife Resources, whatever the state calls it, still wants those tags to get used and filled. Remember that we are a tool for conservation. These wildlife agencies want to control the population numbers to meet the population objectives and to stay within whatever the guardrails are, whatever the carrying capacity is for the specific unit, region, state. Now, if you've never heard of leftover tag, secondary draw before, you may be confused. So we're going to break down the terms really fast. Leftover tags are any unclaimed tags at the end of a primary draw period. They can be return tags, but they could also be leftover tags that people just simply didn't apply for in the primary draw. Hunters may not have paid the bill in time in order to get the tag. There's a lot of different reasons why a tag can become a leftover tag. And these become available through 2 basic systems. By and large, every state out west uses one of these 2 or both in some cases. You're either going to have a secondary draw, which is mimicking the primary draw for the most part. There's usually a period that you can put in. You put your name in, select your preferences. Most of the time, these are going to be a random draw. Sometimes they use your points, sometimes they don't. So you'll want to research that before you put your name in the pool in case you don't want to use your points on one of these tags. The other option is first come, first serve. Very much like an over-the-counter tag, but with a limit. And these limits can range from there's 1 tag available to hundreds of tags available. So you'll want to make sure you do research and be prepared before you go in and try and purchase a tag, if possible. Some states, it's not possible to prepare, and we'll get into that when we get there. Each state and tag varies. Sometimes there are really good hunts that are overlooked that people don't put in for. Sometimes people return really good tags because something came up and they couldn't do it. Sometimes they're tough hunts that people don't want to do. You've got to put in extra miles or hunt a little bit harder. What you choose to go after is up to you, but ultimately there are opportunities to get out west this year. At this point, you might be thinking, are these tags any good? Are they going to be for the species I want? Generally, there are options for bull elk, buck mule deer, pronghorn, across the states. Now, it does vary. Every year the tags are different. So this is where getting creative and flexible comes into play. Some of these are antlerless tags, some of them are great buck and bull tags. You have to figure out what you want, what you're interested in as you go in and start reviewing them. Now, one of the keys to success for this, in my opinion, is doing research. We're going to talk about every single state, the system or systems that they use for leftover tags. But at the end of the day, research is going to be your best friend. Although I'm not affiliated, I am a huge fan of GoHunt. I use them for all of my unit research, all of my hunt planning, and I would encourage you to use a tool like them or them for this purpose. Several states list the units and tags available before they go live in the first come first serve or even the draw. So if you have an opportunity to do some research and prepare yourself, make a plan, prioritize the list of hunts and units that you would like to go after, because it is going to be fast. You need to be ready to get it when the opportunity comes. All right, let's get into these different states and start talking about the systems that they use. We're going to start with Colorado. Colorado actually uses both systems. They have a secondary draw and a first come first serve. The secondary draw period runs from June 19th to the 30th. They will update their website with the tags that are available when we get a little bit closer. By the time this podcast comes out, which is a week after I'm recording it, it may be live and available because the period will open a few days later. Make sure you apply within the application period for the tags that you're interested in. After the main draw is complete and the secondary draw, whatever tags are left over are going to go in the leftovers list. And this is a first come, first serve. When the tags are live, as soon as someone buys them, they will be removed from the system. Typically, this list gets published close to the end of July and will have all the available tags that you can purchase. Next up is Idaho. Idaho is a fast-paced system. They focus on first come, first serve with multiple periods that you can get. They actually have 4 periods throughout the year, but the first secondary draw period already passed. That was back in March. The way their system works is they will pick dates for you to purchase the tags. They will then release a list of tags available 2 days before that period. So you're definitely going to want to mark these down in your calendar if you're interested in hunting in Idaho. So we've got 3 periods remaining for the year: June 26th, August 7th, and September 18th. Those are the days that these tags will become available. It's worth noting that these are general tags, so they are the general tags, deer, elk. There is a secondary draw for their controlled hunts, which is what Idaho calls their limited entry hunts. That application period is open from August 5th to the 15th. So if you're interested in putting in for their controlled hunts, they do have a secondary draw that you can also put yourself in for. Real quick before we move on to the next state, I just want to say I'm a really small channel, and if you like this type of content and you want to see more, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. I don't have sponsors. I do all of this because I want to put out good and useful information. So if you like what you're seeing, you like this content, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Thank you. Next up is Montana. Montana has 2 systems that are similar to the secondary draw and first come, first serve, but they have different names. So the first one is, and this is a non-resident specific option, is called the alternates list. This is for returned combination tags. So the general elk and mule deer tags, I guess general deer tags in Montana are through what they call the combination license. So they have a big game combo, elk combo, deer combo. When non-residents return these tags, they get put into a pool of the alternates list. This is a draw. So you basically go in, put your name down, say you're interested in the big game combo, and they do a random draw and you see if you get drawn for a tag. The nice thing with this is it is the exact same tag that you could get when you put in for an application. So you would have the same opportunity as everybody else that hunts the state of Montana if you draw one of these tags. You have until June 30th to put your name in for the alternates list draw. The next option is open to both residents and non-residents, and this is the surplus license list. Just like the alternates, it's also a draw. This is for those more limited entry permits. If the state doesn't reach the quotas for any of their elk and deer permits, they're going to put them into this surplus system. You can add your name to the list until July 15th, and this is also a draw system. So random draw for both the alternates list and the surplus list, but both are good opportunities at getting either a general tag or a limited permit. Nevada has the most fast-paced system of all of the states in the West. Nevada has two systems. They have a secondary draw and they have the most fast-paced and Wild West first come first serve system in the West. I'm going to mention it even though I'm technically a week late. The secondary draw for Nevada actually just passed. I missed it for this podcast, but it is for the future. It is basically like their main draw. You are able to select a unit and species that you want to apply for, the hunt, and they do a draw at random. But then they have the first come first serve system, which is still an option for you if you're interested in hunting Nevada. And they have some really good permits that end up on this list every year. The issue with Nevada is there is no nice and neat schedule. They're not Idaho. They don't tell you, oh, on this day, these tags are going to go live. They process them in real time. Once the tags become available, whether it's midnight, 2 a.m., noon, 2 p.m., whenever that is, whenever the tags are returned and processed in the system, once the processing is complete, they go live and they can be purchased by anybody. So you have to really be on it if you're interested in Nevada because tags can come and go very fast. This is a tough one, but every year you can find tags for bighorn sheep, nice bull elk units. There are some nice units that end up in there every single year. You just have to be willing to put in the work and be on the website ready to go when they open it up. Next up is Utah. Utah uses a first come first serve system, but I want to put a big asterisk on this. They use your points, and they make it very well known on their website that you will lose your points when you apply in the first come first serve for their leftover tags. So use caution, apply with caution, make sure that it's a unit you actually want to apply for. But they provide a list, and it's currently available, of all of the units, species, weapon types, season dates. Everything is available, and those tags become available for purchase starting July 8th. Last but not least is Wyoming. Much like many states on this list, they offer two systems. They have a leftover draw system and a first come first serve system. Now the quotas aren't available yet, but their leftover draw is just like a primary draw. You go in, you select the species that you're interested in, you put your name in for the application. When they draw the tags, you'll find out whether or not you drew or you didn't. When the primary draw and the leftover draw are complete, any leftover tags that were not picked up will go in the first come first serve list. Just like their leftover draw, when the quota becomes available, they will publish the list. You can go in, select the species, and purchase the tag. This is a first come first serve, so whatever is available, you just have to be ready to purchase it on the spot. Now, I went over several different states, but this is not an all-inclusive list. Many states that I did not list offer some form of leftover tag system. So if you're interested in hunting a different state, like say Oregon, they have a leftover tag system. I just didn't research it. These are just some of the states that offer it. The list that I provided is not all inclusive. So if there is a different state that I didn't mention that you want to hunt, go check out their Fish and Game, Department of Wildlife Resources website. See if they have a leftover tag system or a first come first serve system that you can take advantage of. Remember that this is an opportunity to put a tag in your pocket this year out west if you did not draw in the primary draw, or maybe you drew in one state and you just want to go on another hunt and you had the time. I'm not that lucky. I can only do one hunt a year, but this is a great opportunity for you to get out in the woods, out in the field, chasing after bugles, chasing after mule deer, whatever suits your fancy. These hunts are different. You may have to take a unit that isn't known for trophy quality. You might have to go a little bit deeper, hunt a little bit harder, but you could also get lucky and find a tag that has high success and low pressure because it's just an overlooked unit that people aren't paying attention to. And some of these might be meat hunts. There may be opportunities at just getting an antlerless tag. And if you're running low on meat in the freezer, that might just be the opportunity you're looking for. It's a good opportunity and good option for you to get out there and fill the freezer. I will say make sure that you are physically ready. Right now I am in physical preparation mode and I'm trying to be ready for my Wyoming elk hunt because I know I have that tag and I know it is probably going to be a hard hunt. If you didn't draw a tag and you're not sure if you're going to get anything, you might be falling back a little bit thinking that it'll be easier for you or thinking that maybe you don't need to get ready to go on a hunt because you won't have a tag. Because the nature of these systems, it's a whole nother draw or first come first serve, and it's not going to be for possibly a month. Make sure you take time, you stay in shape, You shoot your bow, you're still going to the range, and you're ready to capitalize on any opportunities that present themselves. So with that said, how do you maximize your opportunities in this system? Well, first, you got to treat it like the primary draw. If you're anything like me, you put a lot of effort in thinking about where you're going to apply, what tags you're going to apply for, balancing your points and your budget. Do the exact same thing here. Most of these states have another draw system, or if they only have a first come, first serve, you should still treat it the same way. Do the research, think about what you want, make a plan, and try to have ideas. A lot of states have the historical draws and leftover tag lists that you can review. So you can see historically which units and species became available and use that to guide your decision. Make sure you review every state that you're interested in, understand their system, and put their dates, if they're available, in your calendar. You don't want to miss those deadlines, especially on those first come, first serve. If you have a period of time where you can put your name in the hat for a draw, that's a little bit easier. But for those first come, first serve tags, you want to make sure you are ready when the time comes. Use research tools like EndurHunt or Hunt and Fool or whatever you use to, where possible, research those units. Figure out what you do and don't want, which units you're willing to apply for and which ones you're not. Not every tag is going to meet your criteria, and you're going to have to get a little bit flexible and creative with how you want to approach your hunt strategy. Which leads me to my sort of last point. This is the mental front, and I want you to stay flexible and adjust your mindset. We're here trying to get a tag in your pocket out west and have good hunting experiences, fill the freezer, and create memories. You can do that. There are opportunities out there if you're willing to put in a little bit more effort, a little bit more work to put that tag in your pocket and go out west. For all you know, it could end up being the best hunt of your life. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than having a tag in my pocket out west in the fall. There's nothing like it. I love that feeling, and I'm going to do it as long as I can. So if you didn't draw a tag in the primary draw this year and you're not really interested in over the counter, I hope you have a better understanding of what options are available for you in the leftover draw or in the first come, first serve options that many states have. There are tags out there if you're willing to put in the work. Build your calendar, be prepared to move very fast on those first come, first serves, put your name in the hat for those draw tags, and hopefully you'll end up with a tag in your pocket a few weeks from now. Thank you as always for spending time with me. As I always say at the end of these episodes, time is our most valuable asset, and I don't take it for granted that you chose to spend it with me. I hope that you learned something from this podcast. I hope that this helps you, and I would love to hear from you in the comments or on Instagram at EndurHunt, EndurHunt. If you have any questions or ideas or think I missed something or thought something's worth sharing, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. I love interacting with you. Thank you all so much for listening, checking in today, and I'll see you next time.